All right, I will call to order the regular council meeting, City of Biwabik. Shannon, can we have a roll call, please?
Councilor
Yes.
Lehman.
Here.
Meany. Here. Waller. Here. Mayor Bionich.
Here. If you are able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Sorry. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we'll move on to item 4, approval of the agenda. I would like to note that we are striking item 10A and also name change on 11A from Braden Sturgis to Caden Mackey.
So moved. Support.
It has been moved and seconded to adopt the agenda with the changes. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 5, consent agenda.
Support.
Been moved and supported to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consent agenda items, there are none, so we will recess the regular meeting at 18:01 and open the nuisance hearing at 18:01. So item 7A, we have a nuisance violation on 209 First Avenue North. Is there anybody from 209 First Avenue North or a representative from that property here? That's the one there? Okay, there's nobody here. We are looking at a parking violation with unlicensed, unoperable vehicles. Chief, I'm assuming there's been no change if we're seeing pictures of it?
Correct, I took those at 10 o'clock this morning, so.
So are there also other vehicles involved that are parked in the front that are unlicensed? Because there used to be.
Yes, there used to be. We towed the one during counter parking after we had to move for a couple of days. So that was actually towed for overtime parking. And then the other ones they put tabs on, and that Dodge pickup truck does actually operate now. So that's the one's parked up front.
Thank you.
Okay. Council wishes on the existing?
I guess I would move to abate because they are aware, and I know they've had previous, complaints.
Okay, I have a motion to abate. Is there a second?
I support.
It's been supported to abate the nuisance at 209 First Avenue North. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We will move on to item 7B, 434 Fourth Avenue North. Is there anybody from the property at 434 Fourth Avenue North here? There's not. I believe this one has been already abated, so. Okay. If there's nothing to take action on here, we will close the nuisance hearing at 18:04 and reconvene the regular council agenda. We'll move on to item 8, presentations. There have been none. I'm assuming, Michael, nobody registered right ahead of the meeting. We'll jump to item 9, mayor and council member reports. Councilor Berg.
The update that our city administrator just provided us in the meeting prior was all I needed to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Councilor Lehman.
The only thing I had to say was it was nice to see that United Way is coming back with the lunch program in town for the kids again, because that was a good program. And other than that, that's all I got.
Yeah, there'll be meet up and chow down at noon to 1, and then Fridays there will be, or Thursdays rather, there'll be the buddy backpack type system as well. So good note. Councilor Nemi.
No, nothing.
Nothing at this time. Councilor Waller.
Yeah, I wanted to give an update on the age-friendly. Most of the, well, we're pretty much done with our survey period, so we're started to set goals. And it was, I just wanted people to know that 94% of the people that filled out the surveys own their own single-family homes. Most rated our community as good or very good, which I was happy to hear. And 68% responded that sidewalks needed, they were either where their locations are fair or poor. So that's something that we really need to work on. 83% feel safe in our community. 63% are not prepared for emergencies or natural disasters. So that's something that we will, do like a workshop or something on that to prepare people for that. And then things that weren't on the survey, like the safety zones on Main Street, especially near the grocery store, City Hall, and the post office. People feel they're not safe. So those are areas that we're going to focus on to try to slow traffic down or do something to try to make it safer. We took a walk around to try to identify some spots where we could have some handicap parking, because there's only one by the post office, 2 here in the parking lot for the whole city. So, we need to start thinking that people in our town most of the people are 50 years or older, and we need to really start thinking for the future. The ADA opening mechanisms for our doors at City Hall and the pavilion, which is our voting place. The ramp replacement here at City Hall. We need to make sure our elevator continues to work. I mean, there's just so many things that we really have not thought about, and doing this survey really made me start thinking about them. So we will hold a public meeting to go over the same survey results, so that'll probably be, in June or July, so. Because everybody on our committee are volunteers. And Michael has been very helpful as far as applying for the grants. I mean, we couldn't have done that without you, so we really do thank you. And then I did attend the East Range Summit. The speaker was Deb Brown, and her focus is Save Your Town. And she just had such good suggestions. And when I was looking over the EDA handbook, a lot of what she addressed is in that EDA handbook. But one of the things that she really pointed out, so it was really nice because we met on Tuesday night over at Rudy's Bar. There were only a couple of us that went. And then Wednesday was her presentation. Thursday, she did a ride around town with us. So then she really looked at our town. And one of the things she suggested is we need to enforce our ordinances consistently, especially in the commercial district. Take down the old signs, clean up. I mean, she kept saying ninjas. You need some ninjas here, volunteers or whatever to help. If people need help cleaning up their property, to reach out to citizens and ask them to help. She called it like a honey to-do list. Maybe have a honey to-do list at City Hall here on a big whiteboard where people could come up and say, I am not capable of doing this, and put it on there, and maybe we can get volunteers to do it. Just really getting the community involved in their city. And so then she said, talk to the owners of the people who own businesses here in town and ask, what's your plan? What do you want from the city of Biwabik? I mean, she was just really, really inspirational, and I'm so happy that I, attended and was able to meet with her. And then we met that night after the drive-through too. So, anybody has any questions? Let me know. So that was it. It was really inspirational.
Okay, thank you, Councilor Willett. I too attended the East Range Summit, and I thought it was fantastic, and I thought Deb was a very fantastic speaker. I even had a chance to chat with her ahead of that, and then I didn't make the drive around. Michael had a different commitment that day, but was able to connect with her after the fact at Vise that night, and it was great. It was a great conversation with her, and took a lot of good ideas. So I was very, very thankful to the East Range Red Powers for putting that on. So I just want to say thanks to Chris Enquist. He's been out cleaning our streets on a volunteer basis. His contract with us doesn't even start for 4 more days, but he's been out, collecting and keeping everything clean, so it's just nice to see that pride in our community. I know Michael mentioned it during the agenda meeting, but I'm also gonna put this on the Facebook group now that I know that it's working properly. We've had some with the website sign up. I was gonna pair that with the YouTube channel link, but that probably, after tonight's little snafu, maybe I'll wait on that one. But, so that's a good thing coming up. We did get, we haven't got congressionally directed spending yet, but Senator Klobuchar's office did call, and they are moving our request up to the next level, and that is to the Senate Appropriations Committee. So it's kind of a wait and see, but we made it past that first hurdle.
And that's for the emergency
Services building, yep. Rams is working with IRRR and putting on a couple, well, actually there's one going on right now in Virginia. There was one at the in Chisholm, and then there's one more on Wednesday evening at the Aurora Community Center with the iron ore trends and community impact. So I would encourage anybody to take the time to head over there. I believe it's at 6 o'clock on Wednesday at the Aurora Community Center. And then the Biwabik Area Civic Association is currently working on a banner project for America 250, and we're going to be, I think the design is actually just got finalized like 3 minutes ago, and there's going to be some opportunity to purchase a banner, and that banner will then pay for the hardware, so in the future that anytime we want to do any sort of other decor, because obviously the American 250 is good for one summer. But so be on the lookout for that here shortly. And then I was also approached by the Homeowners Association at Voyagers with some requests, and I wanted to just bring it up here. I've already brought it up to the staff, but you know, we did approve last year. They did some of the main road brushing, which has increased visibility and actually helped keep the road a little cleaner without things falling on. They said the side streets could use that same treatment. They've got some wooden guardrail posts that have been taken out by a snowplow or something, and they've also want to see especially a curb and gutter. We've got an area of Voyagers where the hill goes down and it's continually washing out and washing into our lift station. So I don't think sand going into the lift station is good for it, and lift stations now are upwards of just under $1 million. So might be something we want to look at up there. And you know, they've brought it up multiple times, but the pavement up there is in pretty tough shape, and there's no grant money available for that kind of road. So something to start thinking about is that it's going to need a resurfacing because it's pretty rough. And I just wanted to make sure that everybody was aware of that. Otherwise, that is all I have.
So Steve, I did want to bring one other thing up, because I'm just wondering if the city should like look at having some type of working session to implement some of the ideas that Deb Brown gave, or that we could share with the rest of the council and see where we want to go from there. Either the EDA or the city council, I don't know.
I think that would be a good idea. Even if you and I wanted to sit down and maybe have something together.
Okay, and Sherry, because she is.
Sherry was came, yeah.
I got a question for Henry. When you did the tour of the town, did you go up to Giants Ridge?
They did before they picked Sherry and I,
Oh.
and they went up to Voyagers Retreat, and, yeah.
So, yeah, we can work on that and bring something back to the council. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on to item 10, old business 10B. Approval of declaring the fire department snowmobile as a surplus equipment.
I'll make a motion.
Support.
Moved and seconded to declare these fire department snowmobile as a surplus. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 10C, discussion and possible action on parking.
I have something to say. Do we need a motion first?
We don't, because it's just discussion on and possible action, so.
Okay. Every year we talk about parking. Every year we don't decide. We talk about it, we talk about some decisions, but we never implement them and they're never done. This has been going on for years. This isn't just a one-year thing. This has been going on for a while. I even called Patty to refresh my memory on it. is it 7th Avenue?
Yeah.
7th Avenue, the trailers are out, the motorcycles are out on both sides of the street. It's, you know, you might not care about yourself, but kids ride their bikes all over town. You know, a car could be coming up and they could not be seen, and then we've got an accident. So we need to implement something and decide on it. And I was thinking about it, and I let Ty know, because I gave him a heads up, because this was like second hearsay that I got it from. That, oh, you just move your trailer 6 inches and, you know, there's nothing we can do to implement the ordinance. You know, that's not, I don't know if it's true or not. I let him know ahead of time I was gonna say that. The thing is that we have an ordinance and it's not to be played with. And if we need to change it, so be it. And so I started thinking about it, and I don't know what the rest of the council thinks about it, I have no idea. But maybe we do implement where it's like winter, odds and even size each day. Someone suggested doing it once a month, but I said, my thinking is that people wouldn't remember the once a month. Or they'll remember it every day, like winter, if you carry it out, it's the same straight through the calendar year. But something has to be done, and then the council needs to follow through, and then the ordinance needs to be followed through on it.
So I know during the calendar parking that we had to impose on 1st and 5th through the construction area, that it did come up about a year-round calendar parking, and I think it just kind of got lost in the mix because that was long before you got here that we talked about it, and it was kind of just, let's get by the next few months. But, as I remember, Councilor Bird, you brought it up to do the.
But Ty mentioned something about the businesses on the first block, and that's kind of where it stopped.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Yes, so there has to, if I can just make a few comments, I think the parking ordinance has to be revisited in a few ways. The last time that our parking ordinance was updated was in 1989. You know, you talk about the 6 inches thing, and technically they went to move it an inch. The city of Biwabik does not have their ordinance, what is called reparking or chalking. That means we don't have an ordinance that says you have to move it 600 feet. Now, most cities have it where it says you have to move the vehicle 1 city block, opposite side, or 600 feet. That's what most ordinances read, but because we don't have a re-chalking, it's just what's termed, or reparking, they can move it an inch, and technically there's nothing we can do about it. Now, the part one on 7th Avenue, that one's, I'll be honest with you, it's irritated me for the last couple of years. I was gonna deal with it on Thursday, but then I saw it was on the agenda, so I decided to wait until tonight, and then I can give him what the expectations are. You know, some other issues that we have is we had trucks, problems with semis parking our street. Well, under the ordinance, as long as they don't disconnect from the tractor or the trailer, tractor's not disconnect from the trailer, we can't technically force it. Now, fortunately, the people we go talk to, they've been very cooperative, they've moved the truck for us. But under the ordinance, we do not have that ability to enforce it if it's hooked up. You know, the vehicle's idling, running. Technically under ordinance, you can't let your car warm up under the ordinance, even if the keys are removed. So we need to make some adjustments to that because with the new vehicles, everything's by cell phone and everything else. You know, but it says here that we're supposed to enforce the county ticket system. The county courthouse quit doing tickets 20 years ago. So a lot of the tickets we're writing right now, we're kind of under the Gilbert ordinance. We don't really have an ordinance with Biwabik to, now fortunately people don't usually fight $12 or $20 tickets, but I definitely hear it in my office. So there's definitely a few things that we probably should readdress with updating the parking ordinance, and we can look at other communities. Yeah, it's not a big deal for us to do parking, it's just, the way the ordinance was, I'm sure when the council in 1999 did, I always talk about there's spirit of the law and there's letter of the law. So it says $40, you shall move your vehicle. Was that the spirit, was that what they put that law in, so the $49 we enforce it? I don't necessarily think so. I think what we call the spirit of the law is, I think that it was meant to be, don't leave your vehicle parked there for a week and have us do it, or 2 weeks or whatever else. And we do enforce the 48-hour parking rule in the wintertime. And usually it's pretty easy, 2 tickets on the vehicle, you know it hasn't moved, or there's a windrow. So there probably needs some updates in the last, 30 years, 37 years. So I think we can look at it, or the council can look at a study group. I have no problems being part of that. It's very simple now. Look on the internet and see what you like from certain cities. You can pick and choose what you want. The camper thing is always a big deal. It doesn't matter what city. I've talked to other chiefs. From end of April till almost Memorial Day, they have nothing but complaints about campers. And again, we try to do the spirit of law of like, okay, if you're getting your camper ready or winterized in the fall, that if it parks there for a week or two, we generally look the other way. However, when we allow that, then unfortunately people take advantage of us and they push it. Now we're 3 weeks out or 4 weeks out. So we just need, as a police department, we just need some direction. Like we can enforce it 49 hours, but there'd be a lot of upset citizens. But like I said, if it's 7 days, whatever else, we have some leeway. We do have discretion. But when it comes to some of these complaints, you counselors are getting most of the complaints. I get the complaint after we write the ticket, or we tow the vehicle. We usually tow the vehicle if it's overtime parked, and that really upsets people because that's usually a $250 charge. So it's whatever the council would like, and then you're the ones that are going to hear from the community. And because it's easy for us, I mean, we have no problem throwing you guys under the bus. Well, this is, we are the executive branch of government, and you are we make the rules. So when you make the rules, we follow the rules that you guys pass and make. So so that's kind of how it is for us anyways. So you guys are basically the legislative branch. So you make the laws, we as law enforcement enforce them. Yes, we are allowed some discretion, but that discretion gets us in trouble sometimes. If we write for 35 and a 30, that will upset people. If they write for 45 and 30, people usually complain. So it's just, that's what I just think we need to look at is, if it's not 48 hours, the thing about the 48-hour rule that is nice for us in the ordinances, we use that a lot in the wintertime. Because once the wind drill, we gotta get that car moved. So in the wintertime, 48 hours is really a pretty legitimate time. Summertime, if somebody leaves on a Friday morning for a trip and they come back and stays on Monday, technically they're in violation if they park their car out front. So again, we use discretion, but as law enforcement, sometimes in the way things have gone in the last 5-6 years, law enforcement has gotten very gun shy to really take, and it's not a big deal, it's just we as law enforcement have become more lenient too, and maybe not in good ways. So, but yeah, whatever this council wishes, but I do think that we need to look at updating some of our ordinances because they are definitely, there are a lot of them are outdated, we need to look at that, so.
I would think, just from our standpoint here, I think that it would be, as it says in the packet item, that sending this to the, Planning and Zoning Commission for, kind of a review, I feel that that's probably within their scope of what needs to happen. And if law enforcement is willing to work with Planning Commission on it, because our ordinance is, if you look at, if you had a chance to read through the ordinance here, it's like, I was in second grade through a lot of it, so.
So when we passed the odd even day parking on 1st Street North and 5th Avenue North, did we just do it by resolution?
Yep.
So
Yep.
could we just change this to odd even day parking throughout the whole city by resolution and then look at the parking ordinances?
Yes. The resolutions are the one, the ordinance is the one that sets the rules. And the local regulations with regard to parking is a resolution. Can be done all at once or one at a time.
Could we do that tonight or next month to do the resolution and
Can't do
then
it tonight.
send it?
No.
It's not-
Not on the, okay, but it could go on the agenda for next month.
With the action of the city brought in.
Because I was reading this, and then I got to P and where it recommended for P and Z, and I rolled my eyes, not because P and Z doesn't do a good job, because they do a good job, it's just giving them one more thing to load up, and then we sit on it and do nothing. And so I liked it when Ty said, he would work with P and Z, and I think that's what needs to be done, is so that we get it clear this time, but we need to get it done this year, not next year, or the year above.
Right, I agree.
I think it's ridiculous what's going on.
Yeah, and I think the council should have a little say too, because you're the ones that hear from the community.
Right.
It's not about what we want, or what we like as law enforcement, or what's easiest for us. You come up with something that we feel works for this community, and it's our job to make sure that's enforced, so.
Well, usually how it works is you would meet with P and Z, and then they would send their recommendations to the council, and the council would look them over and talk about them and decide.
And there should be some notes sent down to them, because you get the complaints, we hear from the community, so you know what you're kind of, and we can curtail just about anything. It's just,
Thank you.
I think that's something if, if anybody does have any concerns, because I will definitely be, conferring with Michael on a few of these things, because, obviously staff is gonna bring it to P and Z, and if law enforcement's going to work with P and Z, that's just my thought, is to, have the planning commission do that, and, not take time worrying about what our fees are, like they're planning, so do the planning part of it. I think this is obviously an important task, so, and if we have an entire commission that can handle that, I think that's what we should be doing, sending it their way. And then, of course, we always have the final say, but if there's anything that, we see in an ordinance ahead of time, that we're like, well, I don't really like this, we can still vote here, but, they're gonna do the homework, and they're gonna do, they're gonna work with the administrator and the police on it, and compare other ordinances, so.
and one issue too that came up, I know there's some complaints that we received, but we had some horses come through town, and they defecated in several areas on our roads a couple weekends ago. Just so people understand is, we can enforce dog feces, cat feces. We cannot enforce horse fecal matter, because they're considered modes of transportation still. So technically, we have a parade, they don't have to pick up after them in a parade, but they do, so. But we've had complaints on the Wasabi Trail, people take the Wasabi Trail from here up to New Year's. So we've had a fair amount, I shouldn't say a fair amount, a few complaints just over the last few weeks.
Boy,
So I don't know if did you get a copy of what we have here? Probably maybe not.
I just have the 89 ordinance.
Okay, because there was a section 315.06, defective or unsafe equipment. No person shall drive and no owner shall cause or knowingly permit to be driven on any street, alley, or highway in the city of Biwabik any motor vehicle or combination of vehicle which are such unsafe condition as to endanger any person or property. Well, my question is about the side-by-sides, because some of them don't have blinkers. They're not licensed to be on the street.
So the city council, I think back in 2017, passed an ATV, small truck, and golf cart ordinance. And it allowed all ATVs to operate in city streets at 10 miles per hour. So that was what the council passed back then. But yeah, they do not need blinkers, they do not need anything like that, because they still consider them ATVs, so they don't necessarily have to follow the traffic laws. Stop signs they have to, but I mean, as far as motor vehicle traffic, they have to follow the ATV laws and the ordinance in which was enacted by the council, I believe, in 2017. Now, we don't see many small trucks, they're kind of mini trucks, but the side-by-sides we see a lot.
Yeah.
And we worked, this weekend, I think we stopped over 50 or 60 ATVs. For speed, generally, we really enforce speed, especially on First Avenue South, First Street South. We recovered a stolen vehicle at Maplewood, Razor, from 4 years ago off the stop. So it was a pretty busy weekend for us, ATVs. So.
That was my question, because that's something, I guess, to look at, when we're looking.
they'll never get my vote, I'll tell you that.
When P&Z is looking at the ordinances.
Yeah, there's an ATV ordinance that was passed in 2017.
Yeah, that we have to coordinate.
For ATVs, if you're gonna limit ATVs, I don't wanna sound like Gilbert.
No, we're not.
No, not a chance. We're a tourism community, and that's a huge, we got people that have bought property in town to work on the ATV business part of it all, so, yeah. But anyways, I think if everybody's okay with sending it to the planning commission.
Like Kathy says, if we do that, then we're responsible to act on it.
Absolutely.
You can't leave me.
No, and, if anybody remembers, I don't know what it is, 2-3 years ago, we asked them to look at a short-term rental ordinance. They came back, we reviewed it, discussed it, sent it back for a little bit more work. It came back to us and we approved it. That's how the process is supposed to work, so.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. We will move on to item 11A.
So we'll move the item to 3, or the 4.
Support. It has been moved and seconded to hire the 4 summer workers listed?
I have a question. Do they all have driver's licenses, do you know?
Yes, I believe so.
Yes, yes, I
Okay.
believe so, yes.
No. I would like to say, and I think you've communicated with all but one so far.
All in one, yes, I do send, I have to check and see if she called back. We could, the council could put a contingency on one of these four, and I've talked to three of them. If for some reason the fourth one can't, or something happens between now and May 26th, and one of them, gets a better offer or something, you could have a contingency that we pick the next alternate, because we do have, I think there were 8 total applicants.
Was it 8 or 7?
7.
7.
So one came in well after.
Oh, yeah,
the
right,
close,
on
so
that one.
yeah, 7 official ones, I guess.
Dan, if you're all right with that, that's a year.
That'd be just fine.
Okay. Unless we want to have a special meeting. All right, so it has been moved and seconded with the contingency to move on to the next candidate if we have one turned down. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11B, fire department resignation.
So moved. Support.
Been moved and seconded to accept the fire department resignation. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 11C, resolution supporting the county grant application for the railroad project. As your packet said that we've already approved this, so it's just a second round.
Support.
Been moved and seconded to approve resolution 2026-09. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call, please, Shannon.
Counselor Burt.
Aye.
Lehman.
Aye.
Amy. Waller. Aye. Mayor Beyondich.
Aye. Motion carries, resolution is adopted. Item 11D, approval of SEH contract for Phase 2 environmental assessment for the public safety building.
Support.
Been moved and seconded to approve the proposal from SEH. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 12, external communications, we have none. And item 13, open public forum. If anybody has anything, please come to the podium. You don't have to turn the microphone on since it's not working, so.
Okay. Hello, I'm a visitor to Biwabik, coming from California. My name's Jeff Goldthorpe, and I'm here just looking for a tour guide, a history tour guide. And I had some correspondence with your clerk, right? And he said, come here and just make an appeal. I've been working at the Historical Society in McKinley, and this is my second visit. So just to back up for a second, like what kind of history are you talking about? My dad was born here in 1912. His dad, John Goldthorpe, came here in about 1900, worked for the Duluth and Iron Range Railroad, raised his family here, and they lived here for about 30 years. He became involved in politics, and he was elected village president in 1916, which was not a good year to be a village president because people were shooting at each other at that time. So that iron ore miners strike happened. So he kind of presided over the events and did not last past 1917. And so I have heard about this through my dad at the age of 20 when I was not really interested in hearing about family history, and suddenly I got to age 50 and this began to seem interesting to me, so I've been doing some research. Of course, the people who could tell me about the events are pretty much gone in my family and, from the region here. So it's been mostly archival research. What I'm interested in is I've been around the town. I came here in 2024, walked around here with my wife, kind of looked at old maps, saw that the city was surrounded by mines, as well as railroad lines where my grandfather worked until 1916. And so I'm interested in kind of seeing just exactly where different mines once were. I think there's one mine that's still operating because I felt an earthquake. Something like an earthquake in 2024, and somebody said, oh, that's dynamite. So I figure there's some mine still operating. Anyway, I've been doing just, reading 110-year-old newspapers and learning a lot. And I can't say I know exactly what I'm going to do with what I'm learning, but I'm writing it all down. I love to write. This may lead to something, but I can't promise anything right now. But I am looking for a historically minded person. I'm here for just 2 more days right now. Tuesday and Wednesday. Wednesday I have more time. Tuesday I'm going to more of these archives and looking at paper. But I also like to walk around town. I'll probably be walking around tomorrow evening, and we'll have more time on Wednesday.
Unfortunately, I will not be around. I'm leaving town tomorrow for a week. I don't know if anybody else has any time availability, but if you want a really good snapshot of history in town, that guy right there behind you, and the guy next to him, I was just gonna say, he can set you up with Dennis if you stop at Lucky 7 at 6 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday. There's nothing but a plethora of knowledge there.
Yeah.
And all the history. Dennis Setniker has got every newspaper, he knows the history. I can't recommend stopping and talking to him enough.
Dennis
Setniker, yeah.
And he's where?
He'll be at the Lucky 7 at 6 o'clock having coffee by the subway station right across the street from here.
Subway, Subway sandwich shop.
So right across the street here. The gas station.
Okay.
Yep.
Gas station.
At 6 o'clock.
Sandwich shop, 6 o'clock.
You missed him this morning.
When does he leave?
Yeah, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Oh.
And does he hang around for at least an hour?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
6 to 8. 2 hours.
You might want to leave by 7, though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that'd be
All right.
welcome, obviously, but
Thank you.
I wish I wasn't taken off. I'd be able to.
Obviously you have to have a special interest and a certain amount of background knowledge, and so that's not everybody. So, anybody think of someone that comes to your mind? My cell phone number is 510-604-4663.
Would you give me?
Michael, you have my cell phone number. Yeah.
Oh, email it out.
I can send it to them.
Yeah, there we go. That's
And I
easy.
thought this would be a good forum for him, just because I don't know the history. I don't know who the best person for him to talk to, but I thought with all the minds in this room, we could get him pointed in the right direction or something. So,
Well, is there a mine open?
There was in 2024 when you were here.
Uh-huh.
There was on the west side of town here in city limits. We were operating. I worked there, but
They're closed now.
about a year and a month ago, they ceased operations there. So
No more dynamiting, huh?
not here.
Okay.
No, there's quite a bit around the area still, but just not right here next to the city
Right.
anymore.
Okay.
So
All right. Thank you.
no problem, sir. Anybody else? Going once, going twice? Motion and second to adjourn. Any discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Adjourn. 1839.